From hurricanes to wildfires, blizzards, and beyond, 2020 has been a weather year for the record books and then some. Thanks for joining us. I'm MyRadar's Chief Digital Meteorologist, Leslie Hudson.
And I'm meteorologist Mike Linden. As we count down to 2021, we are counting down the top 10 weather events of 2020. And let's get right to number 10.
Number 10. Hottest day in U.S. history.
Not only did Death Valley, California record the hottest temperature of the year in 2020, the 129.9 degree reading at Furnace Creek Visitor Center on August 16th may be the hottest reliably recorded temperature in world history. That breaks the 129.2 degree reading in Death Valley in 2013 and Kuwait in 2016.
Number 9. Southern states' severe weather outbreak.
In 2020, there have been 16 separate weather disasters in the U.S. alone that each caused at least $1 billion in damage. 11 of those disasters were the result of severe storms like the deadly tornado that struck the town of Madill, Oklahoma on April 22nd. That high-end EF2 tornado is blamed for 2 deaths. 3 more people were killed by an EF3 wedge tornado that moved through on Alaska, Texas the next day. Tornado activity continued into Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, and Georgia into the day of April 23rd. This is the video of one of those storms in Seminole County, Florida.
Number 8. Puerto Rico earthquake.
A series of earthquakes rocked Puerto Rico in early January, leaving 93% of the island into the dark. The strongest, a 6.4 magnitude quake, struck 5 miles south of Talaboa on Puerto Rico's southwestern coast. Strong aftershocks continued for days, followed by a 5.8 magnitude quake, leveling more homes 6 days later. At least 4 people were killed and more than 750 people fled their homes from the hurricane swarm, which actually started weeks earlier in December. Many of those affected say the destruction was worse than Hurricane Maria, which hit the island in 2017. We've also been able to bring you some amazing video and pictures of wacky and in some cases downright dangerous weather in 2020.
Here's a look at the top 5 wacky weather moments from MyRadar.
And we want to let you know the boater did survive. And while we did bring you a lot of news about dangerous and even deadly weather in 2020, there were some lighthearted moments too.
Here's a look at the top feel-good Friday moments of the year. That little piggy you see there lost its way home. Just a short time after this video was posted, it actually was reunited with its owner. This is Archie, the pug. Now, Boulder got snow last weekend and early part of this week.
Number 7. West Central drought.
Returning to our countdown now, the largest and most intense drought in years engulfed the western United States this fall. The drought was a major contributor to record wildfire activity in California and Colorado, and those fires will be making our list a little bit later. Nationwide, the drought expanded to its greatest aerial coverage since 2013, affecting 72.5 million people. And more than 1/3 of the West is expected to remain in extreme or extensive droughts, the two most severe categories through at least February 2021.
We'll get back to our countdown in just a moment, but first, here are some of MyRadar Storm Chaser Aaron Jajak's best chases from 2020.
This is Storm Chaser Aaron Jajak, and I'm just south of Vernon, Manitoba, with a big-time tornado here. Just crossed the road, hit a farm. We're gonna go back to the farm and make sure they're okay. As soon as it crosses here, it gets clear of the house. Major tornado here, south of Vernon, Manitoba. Time is 8:07 p.m. Central Time. Wow! Incredible tornado! Oh my gosh!
Number 6. Iowa derecho.
Returning now to our countdown, on August 10th and 11th, a severe derecho swept across the Midwest, causing high winds and spawning an outbreak of tornadoes. This is video from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, where wind speeds reached 100 miles per hour. The highest winds were measured at around 126 miles per hour. Millions of people across the Midwest were affected by wide-scale utility disruptions, and the near-complete power blackout lasted for weeks in Cedar Rapids. We've made a lot of improvements to the MyRadar app in 2020.
And there are even more exciting things to come in the app in 2021. MyRadar Chief Executive Officer Andy Green shows us what to expect.
Hey everybody, my name is Andy Green. I'm the CEO of Acme Meteorologist. We're the company that makes MyRadar. 2020 has no doubt been a crazy year, one that I suspect many people will be very happy to leave behind them. Since February, our offices here in Orlando and Portland, Oregon, everybody's been working from home. And it took a little while to adjust to the new normal, but After a while, I think we've kind of settled in, and we still managed to crank out quite a few really valuable features for the app over the year. So among some of the things we've delivered this year, we had improved global precipitation visualizations for those areas not covered by ground-based radar stations. That's a big deal for areas out over the ocean and in other countries where ground-based radar data is not available. We also added an air quality layer. That was pretty significant because of the raging wildfires out in the Midwest and the Western coast earlier this year. The air quality layer was really valuable for people to kind of stay aware of the breathability issues. We also added lightning proximity alerts. These are designed to notify you in the case of a lightning strike that's within a certain radius of your location. We'll send you an advance notice so you've got time to get out of harm's way. We also added an improved temperature visualization graph. It's designed to show you what the temperatures are supposed to be over the course of the day. So at a quick glance, you can kind of see if it's going to be warmer or colder later in the day. And it's also set up so you can actually see that for the next few days. So you can, just at a quick glance and looking at the colors, you can tell if it's, orange or red, it's going to be warmer in the day, or if it's colder, you'll be able to see that at a really quick glance. And that's really handy for just trying to stay on top of the weather. We also added a really nerdy feature called the orbital tracking layer. It allows you to track things that are orbiting the planet, and it shows it right within the app. So you can track things like the International Space Station or NOAA weather satellites. It was really handy earlier in the summer when America returned to manned spaceflight on board the SpaceX crewed capsule, the Dragon capsule. You could actually enter that information into the app, and it would show you where the capsule was. And it was a really neat way to kind of follow along with things as they were happening. So looking forward in 2021, we've got a lot planned still. With our recent acquisition of Endpoint Technologies, we're going to be able to provide road weather conditions for our users within the app. That's pretty exciting, especially coming up on the winter season. There's some really neat things we'll be able to do with that. But aside from making it available within the app, we're also going to have it available as a commercial API for some of our customers. And what's really exciting about that is how valuable that'll be ultimately for autonomous vehicles. These, as we become more reliant on autonomous vehicles and cars that are going to drive us around, they're going to need to be aware of the road conditions ahead so they can avoid bad weather and potentially slick roads. This new technology uses enhanced machine learning and artificial intelligence to accurately model and predict what these road conditions are going to be like during severe weather. And that kind of information is incredibly useful as a tool for these autonomous vehicles. And that's something that we hope to offer and get online in 2021. And in addition to that, MyRadar is getting into the space business. Some of you may know this, but in December of 2019, we launched our first satellite. It went up on Rocket Labs out of New Zealand, and it was designed just as a test to kind of validate our platforms and make sure that we had a good understanding of everything that would be involved in sending up something up into orbit. We have our next satellite going up in January on SpaceX, January of 2021. And again, it's another task platform and incorporates another sensor. So this will kind of, again, be another further step to validate our R&D and make sure that we have a great understanding of how everything's going to work. Ultimately, this is gearing us up toward launching our commercial satellites in the end of 2021. Those satellites will be equipped with some really advanced sensors that allow us to do anything from, wildfire hotspot prediction and alerting to weather forecasting to improve the accuracy of tracking tropical cyclones. So there's some really exciting cutting edge stuff that we get to play with here. And, sending something into space is just a nerd's dream. And it's really cool to be able to work with an amazing team at the company to, take our expertise, turn it into something valuable, and then produce something useful to the public and to society at the end of that. All these crazy new things we're going to be doing are going to help us add some amazing new functionality and features to MyRadar, all while maintaining that, simple, fast, and informative design that users have come to love and rely on. Through all of that, as part of our core mission, we'll continue to produce high-end, educational, and informative video content. MyRadar can help you stay on top of the environmental conditions around you, and our expert team of meteorologists and scientists will continue to provide that extra level of awareness with in-depth analysis and award-winning reporting. Thanks for watching, thanks for letting me ramble, and thanks for being a MyRadar user. The age of working at home with your kids, right? All right.
Number 5. Tennessee tornadoes.
Returning now to our countdown at number 5, a small but deadly tornado outbreak in Tennessee is blamed for 25 deaths. The storm struck on the night of March 2nd and into the morning of March 3rd. One hit northern Nashville, becoming the 6th costliest tornado in U.S. history, with total damage over $1.6 billion. More than 300 people were hurt. The John C. Toone Airport in Nashville was decimated, and more than 70,000 people lost power.
Number 4. Easter tornado outbreak.
Another deadly tornado outbreak comes in at number 4 on our list for 2020.
These deadly twisters struck on Easter Sunday and on Monday, April 12th and 13th in the southeastern U.S. throughout the mid-Atlantic. Over the 2-day outbreak, a total of 140 tornadoes touched down across 10 states. The strongest tornado was rated a high-end EF4, and it hit southern Mississippi with winds over 190 miles an hour. 32 deaths were blamed on the storms, making it the deadliest tornado outbreak since April of 2014.
Number 3. Cameron Peak, Colorado wildfire.
2020 was a devastating year for wildfires. Coming in at number 3 on our countdown is one of the most destructive, the Cameron Peak fire in Colorado. It burned 36 square miles from August 13th until it was finally contained on December 2nd. Hundreds of buildings were destroyed, and the fire is the largest wildfire in Colorado's history, surpassing the Pine Gulch fire, which had set the same mark just 7 weeks earlier.
Number 2. California wildfires.
Our number 2 weather event is a series of wildfires that affected millions of acres in California.
Since mid-August, more than 4 million acres have burned across the state, breaking the statewide burn record set in 2018 by more than 2 million acres.
5 of the top 6 largest wildfires on record in California burned in August and September. This is the largest, the August Complex fire, which began as 38 separate wildfires inside the Mendocino National Forest. More than 10,000 lightning strikes across Northern California from August 16th to the 17th set off the fires. The August Complex fire became the first gigafire with more than 1 million acres burned. That's about the size of Rhode Island. And so far this year, more than 8,500 structures have burned across California, and dense smoke and reddish-orange skies affected the area for weeks. And it took almost 3 months to fully contain the fire.
Number 1. 2020 hurricane season.
And topping our 2020 top weather events list at number 1 is the record-setting hurricane season of the Atlantic.
This hurricane season was the most active in the 7th costliest Atlantic hurricane season on record. There were more than 30 named storms. 13 of those became hurricanes, and 1, Hurricane Iota, grew to Category 5 strength. It was the second season that we had to use the Greek alphabet to name storms. The first was in 2005 when Hurricane Katrina struck. 12 of those storms hit the contiguous United States, breaking the record 9 set in 1916. 5 of 2020's storms hit Louisiana, causing tens of billions of dollars in damage, and one of the deadliest was Hurricane Laura, which made landfall in Cameron, Louisiana, as a powerful Category 4 hurricane on August 27th. Overall, Laura caused more than $16 billion in damage and is blamed for 77 deaths.
Areas of Louisiana and the Gulf Coast that were affected by Laura were struck again just 6 weeks later by Hurricane Delta. That storm made landfall near Creole, Louisiana as a Category 2 hurricane on October 9th. That storm caused more than $4 billion in damage and caused 6 deaths. The east coast of the United States didn't escape the hurricanes either. One of the worst to hit there was Hurricane Isaias, which made landfall near Ocean Isle Beach, North Carolina on August 4th. Isaias stormed up the east coast to Canada, and it all told caused nearly $5 billion in damage and 18 deaths. When it finally came to an end on November 30th, the 2020 hurricane season had caused nearly $47 billion in damage and claimed 431 lives. Hurricane Laura led to the 3 biggest days for the MyRadar app in 2020.
From August 26th through August 28th, we saw more than 3 million active users each day, with the most 3.15 million active users on August 26th alone. And of course, as we come to a close on 2020, we have to thank the folks behind the scenes that are hard at work putting all MyRadar things together. Of course, we have our producer, John, and of course, our hardworking video editors. Every time you see a video, whether it's on YouTube, on the MyRadar app, anywhere, it's these 2 guys here, Damien and Matt.
And we want to thank all of the MyRadar team here in Orlando and also in Portland, Oregon, who work tirelessly, who work all year round to give you the best app out there. Here is to 2021, you guys. May we leave 2020 in the rearview mirror and never see it again. Yeah. Happy New Year, everybody.
Follow MyRadar on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Download MyRadar on iOS, Android, Amazon Alexa, Xbox, and Windows.